Hi everyone, it's Don from Don's Family Vacation, and today I'm going to talk to you about the top 10 mistakes that I made when I first started cruising. So you might consider this a top 10 mistakes that first time cruisers make, and yeah, I made a few of them in my time, and I'm sure a lot of other people have, and we're going to talk about what they are right after this. The number one thing people do when they book their cruises is they're ending up booking the wrong cruise line for them. If you're a younger person looking for more of a party ship with a college atmosphere, you don't want to book on, say, Holland America, which is more designed towards an older traveler and a more sophisticated luxury cruise. And vice versa, if you're looking for action and fun, you're looking for family vacation, you're looking for a lot of things to do on the ship, you don't want to book the smallest ship in the fleet and expect there to be, well, how come there's no flow rider? How come there's no skydiving simulator? And yeah, just make sure you book the right cruise line. Number two, I'd have to say would be to not book a pre-night hotel. Arriving and flying the same day, especially if it's any kind of distance whatsoever, can be dreadful. First of all, embarkation day is the worst day of your cruise. Throw that into an airport day on top of that, and now you're doubling up the worst day of your cruise. Not to mention the fact that if you're traveling during the winter or any time at all, anything can happen to your flight and you end up missing your ship. So fly in the day before, gives you at least that buffer zone, and it's so much more relaxing to wake up in the morning, you're in your port city, and you only got 2 miles to go down the road to hit your ship, not 1,000 miles across country. The number three thing that I did, I booked too early of a flight home. So the cruise says it's going to arrive at 8 o'clock, so I said, you know what? 10 a.m. should be perfect for flying home. Yeah, and then it took me 3.5 hours just to get off the ship, and I missed my flight. So don't book an early morning flight out of your port city when you're leaving. Give yourself a good buffer zone. First of all, the cruise ship could be late getting back to port. There could be a delay, disembarkation. The terminal could be full. There's all kinds of reasons. Things could happen that you're going to be late getting back. So make sure to book a late afternoon flight home just to be on the safe side. Number four, I don't know if this has happened to anybody or not, putting your phone on airplane mode is crucial if you don't have an international plan, because your roaming charges can add up to thousands of dollars on a long cruise. So make sure that if you don't have a plan on your phone or your iPad, that you're making sure that you're on airplane mode so you don't get that big surprise when you get home of a $1,000 cell phone bill. The fifth thing I did, and a lot of other people I think tend to do, is that you think, okay, I've bought the fine dining, so I have the upgraded package, so I'll just book my restaurants when I get on the ship. And then when you get there, you find out all the best times for the dining are taken, and you end up dining during show times and during Broadway shows and things, late in the evening or early in the day. So make sure that you're booking your specialty dining well in advance, especially if you've already paid for it. Number six, overpacking. Nowadays, I can easily get by on my one suitcase and my one little travel backpack that I have for my cameras. When I first started cruising, that would be about 3 suitcases or so, and even more if somebody was coming with me. And then I'd get on the cruise and my cabin is completely stuffed with suitcases and shoes and things that I'm not going to use. I'd end up not using at all on the cruise. So now I've learned to pack only the essentials and only what I need. And speaking of that, don't underpack as well. Make sure you do bring all your essential things you need and the things that are going to make your cruise easier, like a nightlight if you're staying on an inside stateroom, chargers, things like that. Make sure you have those things, but don't carry on tons of suitcases because your stateroom's just going to feel like a closet, and you don't want to feel like you're on vacation sleeping in a closet. Number 7, showing up around 1 p.m. on a bright sunny sea day on the ship and expecting to get a lounge by the pool in a good location, because they're booked up by 8 o'clock in the morning almost on every cruise, especially during the sea days. So yeah, I made that mistake a few times on my first couple of cruises, and no more. If I want to lounge by the pool, I know I got to be out there bright and early. Number 8, I did this, and I see a lot of people do this: overeating on a cruise. The food is free, and it's everywhere on the ship that you go. It's everywhere on the ports that you visit, and you just end up eating and eating and eating and eating, and then all of a sudden, late in that night, you just feel terrible and you're stuffed and you don't feel like doing anything. You don't want to go to a club. You don't want to go watch a movie. You don't want to go to see the comedy show. You just want to sit in your bed and roll over and veg because you're just so stuffed you don't feel like moving. So yeah, I learned to spread my meals out now during the day, and I don't need to have 4 entrees at the buffet just because it's there. Number 9, not bringing sunscreen, or just putting sunscreen on in the morning and think that's going to cover you for the entire day. And it doesn't matter where you live. If you live in Florida and you think your sunscreen's fine when you're on a ship in the middle of the ocean near Bermuda, you've got another thing coming. You're still going to burn. So keep this in mind. Take the biggest tube of sunscreen you can think of, apply it all the time. Make sure you have water resistant sunscreen if you're applying it to kids or yourself and you're going in the pool or you're in the water parks or anything like that. Just keep applying it, because nasty sunburns happen an awful lot on cruises, and it's simply because you didn't put sunscreen on. And number 10, probably the most arrogant one of my experiences, shall you say, is thinking that, yep, that cruise ship will wait for me because I paid for my ticket if I'm late getting there to the ship. And nope, they will not, because I'm nobody. So keep that in mind. I've never actually missed a ship, but I have come very close. And yes, I have to admit it, one of my very first cruises, I was a pier runner. And after that embarrassing moment where I had about 1,500 people booing me as I'm running to the ship, that would never happen again, and it's never happened since. So I've learned my lesson. So if you're a first-time cruisers, keep that in mind. Make sure you show up at least an hour before departure time. Make sure you know that if the time zone switched, what time it's actually at the ship. So sometimes the ships don't change the time zones. They keep on the same regular time. So it might be 5 o'clock in port and 4 o'clock on the ship. So make sure you know when you have to be back on time, and don't miss the ship. And yeah, don't be like me and waving to people as they're booing you and look really foolish. So there you have my top 10 things I did when I was first cruising many years ago, over 30 years ago now, and I've learned my lesson, and none of the things I've mentioned now I would ever do again. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more tip videos and more cruise videos, hit that subscribe button, and until next time, you have yourself a safe and a great vacation.